The BBC are spiralling out of control and are being exposed and called out for all of the wrong and bad that they are doing. The BBC have been in the mud for decades, but it's only now people are truly waking up to just how messed up this organisation is. Recently with the Hugh Edwards situation, but now with their propaganda, misinformation and bias. Let's get into why the BBC have been exposed yet again and why they are spiralling out of control. But first, before we get into the video, please hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. The BBC have been exposed recently over their reportings on the ongoings between Israel, Palestine and Iran. They report in a pure bias and have one agenda. Firstly, look at both of these images. The BBC have just live-streamed Ayatollah Khamenei's propaganda speech for 40 minutes and put on their banner his quotes. October 7th was logical and legal. Missile attack on Israel legal and legitimate. This, in my opinion, is distributing terrorist propaganda to the UK public via a channel that is paid for by the UK public. Following this here is a thread from an award-winning journalist discussing their propaganda-driven misinformation bias. So it starts here. David Collier said, exclusive. Yesterday, the @BBC News flagship BBC Verify published blatant pro-Iranian propaganda. BBC Verify is an amateurish propaganda device that is driven by unacceptable bias and publishes blatant lies worthy of a Russian Soviet-era misinformation service. BBC Verify published a 1-minute 20-second video titled, "Where Iran's Missiles Struck in Israel." The BBC tells us the video is to counter false imagery circulated online. They say they verified strikes in the vicinity of 3 key locations, all of them military sites. This creates an immediate problem. Why only these 3? For example, a verified strike by Ramat Gan shopping mall has not been included. For some reason, BBC Verify left known strikes, such as the one on the shopping mall, out of their analysis. It is difficult to escape the conclusion that BBC Verify were deliberately pushing a pro-Iranian propaganda line that the missiles were fired only at military targets. But it gets a lot worse. When the journalist turns to the attack on the Tel Nof base, things become surreal. We find the base was not hit at all. This is the script. In this video, you can see a crater where a missile has landed. It is not the airbase itself, but a school a few miles away. What? So the Iranians didn't hit the airbase, they hit a school. So why isn't it the school that is listed in the map? How on earth can BBC Verify know the intended target was the airbase? The school was about 5 miles from the airbase. It is in a different place entirely. Context. Below on the map are 2 marks, Gaza city centre and Jabalia camp. 5 miles between them. Would BBC Verify report a strike on a school in Jabalia as a strike on a Hamas military target 5 miles away? Wouldn't they call this disinformation? The BBC Verify journalist presenting all this inexcusable nonsense is Nawal al-Maghafi. She is Yemeni-born. Earlier in her career, she seems to have worked with Al Jazeera, Middle East Eye, and even the Iranian mouthpiece Press TV. And there are things like this from her social media. Free Palestine hashtags, and images of the pro-Iranian cult Neturei Carter. This is the same impartial, unbiased BBC journo unable to differentiate between a strike on a school and a military target. Who still watches the BBC? Let me know if you do. Yes or no, in the comments below. In other news, the US has conducted strikes on 15 targets in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, amid intensified attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. Officials from the US Central Command said the strikes were launched to protect freedom of navigation and make international waters safer. It comes after an oil tanker was engulfed in flames after being targeted by Yemen's Houthi rebels on Tuesday. US military aircraft and warships struck Houthi strongholds at roughly 5 locations. According to local media, 7 strikes hit the airport in Hodeidah and the Kathaib area, a military base. 4 more strikes hit the Sayana area in Sana'a, the capital, and 2 strikes hit the Damar province. Residents said that an attack on Al-Baida province targeted several Houthi military outposts. The Houthis have initiated almost 100 attacks on ships crossing the Red Sea since November. They say they are acting in solidarity with Palestinians amid the year-long war in Gaza. The Houthis have sunk 2 vessels, seized another, and killed at least 4 seafarers. In a statement, the US Central Command said, "Forces conducted strikes on 15 Houthi targets in Iranian-backed Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen today at about 5 p.m. Sana time." These targets included Houthi offensive military capabilities. These actions were taken to protect freedom of navigation and make international waters safer and more secure for US, coalition, and merchant vessels. The Biden administration has been acting mostly defensively against Houthi strikes in the Red Sea. Earlier today, protesters carried out a rally in Sana'a to honor the late leader of Lebanon's Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah. In other news, Princess Kate has released a fresh statement just days after her return to public life. The Princess of Wales took to social media with a new post, just days after pictures were released of the royal in Windsor Castle. She wrote, "Congratulations to Ainsley Ben and the whole Ineos Britannia team on qualifying for the 37th America's Cup. A fantastic display of teamwork, skill, and determination. Best of luck for the final challenge. See double quote." It is understood that Sir Ben and the Princess of Wales are very old friends. This is the first time in 60 years that Britain has made it this far in the competition. Sir Ben previously said regarding the Royal in 2022, "She has sailed with me on foiling boats, so we're expecting a little bit of extra help." The duo stepped out in Plymouth to take part in a catamaran race. Kate donned a wetsuit as she prepared to join Sir Ben at the Sail Grand Prix Sail GP competition in Plymouth. The 42-year-old first met Olympic sailor Sir Ben Ainsley at the London 2012 Olympics, where he won his 4th gold medal. The pair then teamed up in 2014 for the launch of the UK's America's Cup bid. Kate was given a tour of the Ben Ainsley Racing headquarters in Portsmouth by the sailing champion as part of her work with the 1851 Trust in February 2015. The Prince and Princess of Wales have also shown their support for Sir Ben as he competed in the America's Cup in 2015 and 2016. Kate also took to the waves as she joined the sailor for a training session in Portsmouth in 2016. Today marked Kate's first statement since her return to public life earlier this week. On Wednesday, the Royal's social media team posted 2 new pictures of the princess as she met a young girl battling cancer in Windsor Castle. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. I want to say a quick thank you for all the support on this channel. We are growing very fast and are getting closer to our goal of 100,000 subscribers. We want to spread the news that the mainstream media refuses to show. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.